This is my grandfather Walter, and he likes to read Reddit stories.
Tomorrow is my boyfriend and my 4-year anniversary. Unfortunately, I have to work a double shift tomorrow, so we decided to have a picnic this evening. He went to help my uncle pack this afternoon, and while he was gone, I decided to go to Target and buy him a knife that he had asked me for. As soon as I walked into the store, he texted me, "If you are not home, please get there ASAP." My uncle has a tendency to start fights, and I immediately felt anxious that this was happening, so I called to find out why he wanted me home so quickly. I called 4 times right after receiving his text, and no answer. I texted back, not wanting to give away that I was out getting him a gift. I said, "I'm not, why?" Still no answer. I then texted back, "If you want me to come home immediately, can you at least tell me why?" His response was, "Never mind, have fun." He then called me back with a major attitude and insinuated that whatever I am doing must be more important than him, and then started texting accusing me of cheating. We then got into an argument, and he claims I should have known he wanted me to come home and spend time with him. I was planning on picking up the knife, coming home and making snacks for our picnic, but he upset me so much I went to my mum's for a bit instead, for about an hour and a half. We are still fighting about this, and he claims I am the idiot for not caring that he wanted to spend time with me. First, that's not at all the case. He never said that was why until halfway through the fight. I think he is the idiot for treating me like a huge jerk for asking why a simple "I want to see you" would have sufficed, and accusing me of cheating. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot, and your boyfriend is acting like a huge massive idiot. First, for sending you a text that sounded like there was an emergency situation. Then for not responding to any of your panicked messages and phone calls. Then for expecting you to read his mind and verbally abusing you. Then for accusing you of cheating. This man is abusing you. This is emotional abuse. Girl, please don't celebrate your anniversary with this absolute prick. This is an abusive relationship, and you shouldn't live like this. Comment 2. Not the idiot. If someone says ASAP, anyone would think there's some relatively important stuff going on. But I want to spend time with you wine is not by any stretch an ASAP situation. Then he gets pissy because you didn't read his mind and race home to what? Drain his fricking ballsack, plus accuses you of cheating. Here's an idea. Return the knife and never buy this ass pimple another present ever. Comment 3. Not the idiot. He gave you some indication that it was urgent you needed to be home quickly, and then shut down and didn't answer. And now he's reaching all sorts of wild conclusions to justify him being butthurt about you not psychically knowing his reasons. Does he usually act this childish? That's a masterclass in turning a nice anniversary into absolute crap because he can't rein his mouth and insecurities in. Now, for the next story. Background. My husband, 36 years old, and I, 31 years old, planned a trip to Prague with our 11-month-old child. We live in the US, and my mother-in-law, MIL, lives in Europe. Mother-in-law asked if she could bring a friend along, and we agreed. However, her friend ended up not coming, and mother-in-law travelled alone. My feelings, I felt ambushed and annoyed because mother-in-law never informed us that her friend wouldn't be joining us. This meant that she would either be alone in Prague, knowing we were there, or she would join us. I didn't plan for this vacation to be spent with my mother-in-law, so I was frustrated. The situations that caused tension, mother-in-law being alone. I had to decide whether to spend only 2-3 days with her, or let her join us for the entire duration of the trip. Mother-in-law confused the day of her arrival with our arrival and texted us that she was sightseeing alone and excited to see us. This is how we found out that her friend wasn't coming, just 2 days before our flight. When we landed, mother-in-law was waiting at the door of our Airbnb. We asked her to wait elsewhere, but she said she was at a park close by and ready to meet us. The event that caused an argument. The next morning, mother-in-law texted us that she was near our Airbnb with a bag of croissants for us, if we were free and ready. Why this upset me? We had already asked mother-in-law not to show up unannounced, so her message added pressure for us to hurry up and meet her. The clause about us being ready or free didn't make a difference. We were jet-lagged and had a toddler to take care of. Mother-in-law showing up and expecting us to meet with her was irritating. I had to choose between saying no and feeling guilty, or quickly getting ready and meeting with her while suppressing my annoyance. Although I like croissants, I didn't come to Prague just to eat them. I wanted to explore local breakfast options and have the freedom to choose what to eat. So, am I the idiot for being annoyed with her? I expect my husband to talk to her about not showing up unannounced, but I might have to accept the situation silently. My husband thinks I'm overreacting about the croissants, but it's a combination of events during this trip that made me feel like my boundaries were ignored. Additional information. My husband did tell mother-in-law that it was weird for her to wait at the door after we landed. She then waited at the park. This incident happened before the croissant incident. Although my husband has talked to her about these issues, something hasn't worked out, either because she ignores our request or there is a miscommunication. I felt invaded and would prefer to avoid travelling with mother-in-law in the future, but my husband thinks I'm being unreasonable because she had good intentions. Additional information. 2. In the past 12 months, mother-in-law has visited us for a total of around 7 weeks. This trip to Prague has already happened, and I made this post to prevent similar situations from occurring again. Now, for the next story. So me, 26 years old, and my best friend, 28 years old, have been very close for almost 8 years. Me, her fiancé, and my boyfriend have always been close and spent a lot of time together. After she got engaged last year, she asked me to be her maid of honor, and I said yes. Now it's the month of her wedding, and I have done all the things a maid of honor does: plan a bachelorette, wedding shower, etc. The weekend before her wedding, her fiancé, me, and my boyfriend went on a beach trip to relax before the wedding. As soon as we got there, my friend and her fiancé had started arguing, and it didn't stop the whole weekend. They argued in front of us at least 15 times, and it was honestly really awkward and made a lot of tension. While she was fighting and mad, she blurted to me and my boyfriend that her fiancé had abused, cheated and lied to her over the years. She was saying she was abused to the point he was pulling a loaded gun on her and leaving bruises all over her body. After they argued, she called the wedding off. They said they didn't want to make the weekend awkward after arguing in front of us and calling off the wedding, so we all still continued with our plans for the weekend. That night we all went to the bar at the hotel to have some drinks, and my friend was talking about going to other men's rooms and flirting with guys right in front of her now ex-fiancé after they broke up a few hours prior. My boyfriend got upset with her and told her that she was the problem for the way she was going about this, and she shouldn't get married. It turned into a small argument with her saying we don't support her and we think she's the problem. Me and my boyfriend went to our room and went to bed for the night. The next day, my friend is upset and leaves the beach without telling me. She texted me later that day and said the wedding was back on, and then uninvited my boyfriend from the wedding. She said she was upset he confronted her and he upset her by not supporting their relationship. Her and I have been arguing non-stop since we left the beach. I told her I cannot be in the wedding because I don't support a relationship where she is being abused, cheated, lied to, and where she is constantly arguing. She expects me to give a speech to everyone on how much I love them as a couple and support them. I don't think I can go and stand next to her as her maid of honor when I know she was being abused by this man. I even told her to maybe postpone the wedding, to think about it a little longer, because the wedding is now in 5 days, and this all happened 2 days ago. I know abusive relationships are hard to get out of, and I offered to help her get help, but am I the idiot for not wanting to be the maid of honor or even attend my best friend's wedding? Now for the next story. Long story short, I've had a lot of therapy for trauma recently and have come to realize that it's my relationship that is causing me complex PTSD issues and bad depression. My therapist says my partner is a narcissist and strongly recommends I leave the relationship. I've come to the gradual realization that I probably should for my own mental health. We're both 38 years old, and because of health issues she's had, her doctor said it's literally now or never for her to conceive. Freezing eggs is not an option, though freezing embryos is. We've talked about children for a year or so now, and I've been on the fence, which hasn't helped. I feel like I need to leave the relationship for my own mental health. I feel that the child would not grow up in a healthy environment where neither of us are happy, but I feel like a complete piece of poop possibly being her last hope to have a family and taking that away. Am I the idiot? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. You didn't deliberately string them along. You needed that time to better understand yourself and what you want and need from a relationship. Absolutely do not stay in a relationship and have children with someone through feeling guilty that you want the opposite. That way madness lies. You would be subsuming yourself, your happiness, your mental health for someone you actually know you don't really want to be with. Not the idiot. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Her desire for children is not your responsibility to fulfill. Talk to your therapist about why you feel obligated to prioritize her preferences over your well-being. There's material to work with there in your healing. Don't have a kid with her and tie yourself and an innocent child to this person for the rest of your lives. You and the potential kid both deserve better. Comment 3. This is just having a kid to save a relationship with extra steps. That is not a good idea, just to be clear. Not the idiot. Remember that having a kid with her would amount to tying yourself to her for at least 18 years, and if she treats you like that, how do you think she'd treat a kid? Now, for the next story. I am a 20-year-old female, my sister is 25, and he is a 30-year-old male. My sister has said she wouldn't mind having kids, but she doesn't want to get pregnant and give birth. She's a nurse and can barely look at a pregnant lady without feeling faint. Her boyfriend is indifferent about kids, but he talks about them a lot, and I think he's leaning more towards having them. My sister said that he asked if I would be willing to be their surrogate. First of all, I have a condition called MRKH, which means I don't have a uterus or vaginal canal, so I can't even have my own kids. I don't know if he was joking or not, but I feel uncomfortable being around him. Even if I could have kids, we don't even talk when he comes over. So how does he conjure up the thought of me carrying his kid? Should I bring my discomfort up to my sister? I don't want to start a fight, but this feels really weird. Comment 1. It's super weird that she told you and didn't outright shut it down. A sister who has already had children and has mentioned that she loved being pregnant and is sad that she's not going to have another kid. Sure, that is a sister you could ask about surrogacy, not your younger childless sister, even if she was medically, biologically capable. Comment 2. It is definitely weird that your sister, who I am sure knows about your condition, would ever bring that up to you. Do what you feel comfortable doing. I would advise not dealing directly with brother-in-law. That's your sister's problem. Deal with your sister, though. Be honest about how you feel and stand your ground on your boundaries. Comment 3. How is your sister a nurse but still this stupid? Where are you going to keep the fetus? In a box? And did she do the minimum amount of research where one of the prerequisites is usually the surrogate having a history of safe and uneventful pregnancies? Now for the next story, we live together. My boyfriend, 25-year-old, recently got into the whole anime figure collecting. The first anime figure was My Valentine from Yu-Gi-Oh! The figure is sexualized. You can take off the top to reveal her breasts. And then comes the next one, and the next one, each of them more lewd and revealing than the one before that. The thing is, he never told me about those purchases. One day they just showed up. Today was kind of my last straw. This figure showed up and she is pretty big. It is the most revealing of all, like literally huge breasts. You can take off her top too, sexy facial expression, and you can see her genitals, and all. I was a little mad, so I jokingly said if it was okay, if I can start collecting sexualized male figurines like those, and this dude said no. He asked why would I want to do that, and I said because you collect, so I want to collect too. He then got mad at me and thinks that I don't love him. At this point I was confused, like how is it okay that he can do it and I can't? He told me we're not equal. So in his logic, when a woman collects sexualized male figures, it is quite disrespectful to the man she's with, because that shows that she's not happy with how he looks. To be honest, I was mad because recently he's been commenting things like, anime breasts are not impossible or I'll pay for your breast job. So I've been feeling quite insecure about my small breasts. On top of that, these big-breasted female figures keep showing up. I don't know what to do. I included a picture of the figure that pissed me off. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Those figures are not cheap. Maybe Chinese knockoffs are, but these figures often come from Japan, and any American retailer will sell at top price. Sexualized or not, if he is buying them consistently, it's going to affect your financial situation in the long run. I could see if he buys them brand new and hoards them as investments, then maybe it's cool. But that does not sound like the case. He definitely has some twisted view on what a woman's body should look like. I would not be surprised if you find his stash of hentai later on. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Leave him to his toys, Hon. The fact that he actually thinks he has the right to call you disrespectful for doing the exact same thing he is a massive red flag. Leave this fish in the pond, honey. He's not worth it. Comment 3. Yeah, you need to leave. That comment about you not being equal to him is absolutely abhorrent. That's your future and it will get worse. This guy is seriously messed up. Not the idiot. Run. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.